And welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. Lights are on here in the studio this Sunday morning, and it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. And it has been, I think, about almost 2 weeks since I posted that last video of me being in mental distress, and certainly I'm on about week number 3 of taking medication. So upon release of that video, many people left comments. Some people messaged through Facebook, also emails about suggestions, medications to take. Also relayed a lot of personal stories. So thank you so much for that. I did take time to go through many of them, and a lot of information to read, really. And a drug company cannot market drugs to a Canadian. So we see that when we're watching cable news or any kind of US stations where the drug companies of the US are marketing to the US citizens. That's illegal to do here in Canada, so we do not see that on Canadian television. So a lot of the suggestions that came in about medications that were suggested because people saw them on TV, a lot of the medications that we see on TV, even if we're watching the US stuff, are not available here in Canada. So I did place an urgent call to my doctor. She took an immediate appointment for me. We have what is called we can visit in person or we can do telehealth. And so I did a telephone call with her the next day after the last video was recorded. It has been still pretty rough. We adjusted the medication and I still have been sleeping for hours and hours and hours each day. We went out to dinner with some friends, and it's 8 o'clock at night, and my one friend orders a double espresso, and his wife says, "I can't believe you're having that because coffee keeps her up all night." And he goes, "Well, it doesn't for me." And I said, you know, it's kind of funny. I switched to coffee about 3 weeks ago when I started taking my medication. I did contract COVID. Not recently, but I did contract COVID, which has changed my taste buds. So I like spicy food now. I drink drier wines than I ever have. I drink more varieties of wines now. So Tim Hortons kept screwing up my tea and making it a coffee. So when I tried it after I contracted COVID, I realized that I don't mind it so much. And so I switched over to coffee about 3 or so weeks ago. So I'm like, okay, well, you know, I've joined the big boy club and I'm good. And I found myself, I have my coffee in the morning. I have a small coffee. It's all I can really handle. It's not that I don't like the taste, it's all I can handle. Where a cup of tea, I like a really good thermos size. I said, you know, the coffee just doesn't wake me up. It's just like, I have it in the morning. I feel like a big boy. But it's just not doing anything for me. Yeah, so I said, I've been like sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. And the guy says, well, it doesn't for him. Like it just revs his engine. And I said, well, that's what's missing for me. I haven't had my engine revved. And he goes, well, what do you mean? I said, well, the tea, when I drink it, which I just had my first one last night and then another one this morning. I said, I get this sense of rush. I get almost the shakes for about an hour or so. And then my engine is revved for hours. And because of that, I work and I put that revving towards the Crochet Crowd. And I said, you know, since I started drinking coffee, I don't have that revving of the engine. And I said, I have the coffee. I don't have that sense of let's go and let's party. And he goes, that's kind of interesting. And then I kind of, because I said that out loud, I'm like, shit. Maybe that's part of my problem, is that it's not just the medication that is making me tired because we have changed out what it was. And I realized that when I was sitting with Debbie, my nurse practitioner, and I was crying with her in her office about how bad things were and the threats and everything, I had already switched over to coffee. And I think what's happened with me is that it's not just the online threats that have gotten to me. I think it's the actual addiction to the caffeine that was in the tea that I think I was going through withdrawal. So my friend said, and I don't know if this is true, but you can let me know in the comments, but they said that there's more caffeine in tea than there is in coffee. And I'm like, well, shit, that's probably what's missing. I drink the Tim Hortons steep tea. I've always maintained this throughout the years that I think there's something in the tea that makes me almost an addicted person. In the coffee, I take milk, 1 sugar, and in my tea, it's 1 milk, 1 sugar. So it's not the milk or the sugar that is causing the high, it's the actual product itself. And I think based on myself, like I already feel great this morning. I've had my Tim Hortons steep tea and I'm ready to go. The other thing that has happened is now almost the end of July. The death threats have stopped. A lot of the crazy shit has stopped. Also the media, because Pride festivals are pretty much already happened this year. I think the media not focusing on the Pride or my community in particular has released off a lot of pressure. So I think the media likes to portray that they're helping people like myself by calling attention to a lot of stories. But I think there's a lot of issues with that because of people that are just not happy with people that are homosexual or any other kind of lifestyle and wants everybody to live the same life as everybody else. That becomes a problem. I'm feeling happier being on the medication. I just couldn't stay awake. So I'm gonna give this a try and see what it goes, and probably give my doctor a call tomorrow and see what's gonna go on with that. So that's kind of my long-winded story. But I have received a lot of requests during my downtime. People wanting this and wanting that and wanting this and wanting that, but chances are they probably don't know that I'm in mental distress. So for me to take any more requests and to do things immediately for their benefit isn't flying very well with me personally, but you got to do what I got to do. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, and you can let me know in the comments, and is it possible that it's just been a caffeine withdrawal this most of the time and just myself being oversensitive to the threats?